Guys, it's Megan. I know I haven't posted in a while. I know, and I'm very sorry. And I wanted to post this video a while ago, but you know, with school and everything, school. Guys, I haven't been in school in almost 2 years. I'm at work. With work and everything, I just didn't feel like it, but I remember it well enough that I remember what I liked and I didn't like about it. So I read the book. I don't want to go ahead and say it's like in my top 10, but I did find the book really enjoyable. So when I went into the theater, I really kind of had high expectations for the movie, because this movie was being praised as a wonderful movie for like today's generation with every like LGBT thing that is going on right now. So I really had high expectations. It looked like it was gonna be the Duff you know, the Designated Ugly Fat Friend movie book to adaptation. It looked like it wasn't going to go along with the storyline basically at all, that it was going to be a typical teenage love story. And that it was going to take very little aspects from the book. But it really didn't. It followed the books really well, actually. So first, to start off with, overall, I would give it probably 9 out of 10. On a rating scale. The only thing that would bring it down to a 9 instead of a 10, I think, would be the only problem I have with it, which would be the fact that Leah does not like Nick, she likes Simon. And that may not bug some people. If you like that, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But I found it a really huge part of the story in the book that was kind of like a B storyline, but I really liked, because I'm sure there have been people in that situation where you like a guy or a girl, but they like somebody else. That's definitely happened to, I think, basically everybody. And, you know, it happens in this sort too, that Simon likes this guy, Leah likes Simon. Though I did like how in the Why Straight the Default, and then like they have this whole montage of all his friends saying, oh my god, like, I have something to say, I'm straight, I'm not gay, things like that, which I found really hilarious. I like how they did put that I'm in love with Nick. She says I'm in love with Nick instead of I'm in love with Simon. That kind of does a little throw to the book fans and say, hey, here's your little tiny bit if you really enjoyed that storyline. I found Catherine Langford really fit that part. I have not finished 13 Reasons Why. I did not finish. I stopped after episode 3. I just did not find it that appealing. And I don't know why they're making a second season of it. Is there a reason? Like, there's only one book, unless they changed a whole lot of things. But off that tangent, I thought she really fit the part of Leah. She really did have that vulnerability, plus that strength that Leah had in the book. I'm going to keep saying her name wrong, whichever it is, which I'm not sorry about. I found that the boy who played Nick was this kind of amazing actor that I didn't really think I'd like. Their friend Abby, the actress, was amazing. Obviously, I've loved Nick, the actor who played Simon, for a long time. I enjoyed him in Jurassic Park. He was my favorite character in Melissa and Joey. He's really the only character I liked in in The Fifth Wave, the character that he played. Um, and I really enjoyed him in Everything. So I really found this to be one of his best roles, especially since he said his brother came out during like when they were filming this role, or when he was filming this movie. I found that to be great. Also, I want to say his name is Keenan Lonsdale. I've been watching him on The Flash for several seasons. I should know how to pronounce his name right now. But I really liked him. I didn't really know anybody's kind of roles except for the main groups in like the movie. I tried to stay away from all of that, like separate the book from the movie, because I finished the book maybe back in January when all of the promos were coming out, and I just didn't want to know anything. I wanted to know nothing, absolutely nothing. So I stayed away from the actors because they weren't going to mess up the people in my heads. Everybody, I've been talking a lot about the main group of actors. Everybody was amazing. Like, I forget his name, but the guy who played, the blackmailer, whose name I'm forgetting, he had the perfect role. Like, let's be honest, this guy was the ultimate actor of that, like, blackmailing and that, oh my god, like, creepiness kind of part, which blew my mind. I was like, oh my god, this is when it happens. When he started coming on, I'm like, oh my god. And my friend next to me is like, what? I'm like, never mind. My friend is like reading the book right now, and I'm just like at all these parts, like, oh my god, oh, I like that part, oh, I like that part. That part's different than the book in my head, and I want to like do this to her, like shake her, like, oh my god. What I really liked was the emails. My favorite part would probably have to be him and Blue writing the emails back and forth to each other, because as they started, like, as he started trying to figure out who Blue was, thinking, oh, Blue might be this person, I kind of like this boy, like, he started imagining the person he thought it was behind the keyboard typing, and I was just like, okay, this is interesting. But the first one was Keenan Lonsdale, and I was just like, oh my god, you guys are spoiling the movie! You guys are spoiling the entire thing, and it's not even half an hour into the movie! What are you talking about? And then they got to the second part, and I was just like, okay, I get this, I like this. It kind of threw off. It kind of threw you off of the fact that the person's hands were white. And Keenan Lonsdale is obviously black. So it kind of threw you off of that, which I kind of liked. If there was like an in-between color, I think that would probably screw people up. But I really liked, how Simon's parents reacted to him coming out. Like, Jennifer Garner's acting and Josh Duhamel, oh my god, their talks to Simon were amazing. Like, that was the part. I didn't start crying up until that part, and even then I didn't really cry a lot. It was just Jennifer Garner's reaction and her, like, talking to Simon about, I knew something was going on, I just didn't want to pry, was just the perfect moment. And Josh Duhamel, when he said, I should have known something was wrong. Like, both of them knew that something was up with their son, but they didn't want to pry. All those years, they knew something was wrong, or not wrong, but they knew he was hiding something, but they didn't catch it, or they, like, didn't ask, because they weren't themselves. He wasn't himself. He didn't know how to handle it. And his parents knew that, but his parents were just like, okay, well, like, let him tell us on his own. which I found really great as parent role models. Maybe a lot of parents will take that away, that, hey, my kid might be acting the same way, but I'm not going to pry this out of them because that's their own thing, and I'm going to let them come when I'm going to let them come to me and tell me when it's ready, when the time is right for them, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed how Simon handled the letter to his classmates about about how this is who I am, and inviting Blue to come to the Ferris wheel. That was like the defining moment for me, saying Nick is Simon. Like, this boy handled this role so perfectly. This boy was Simon. I also liked how the only F word they got to use, they used the perfect opportunity to tell the blackmailer, okay, go away. Like, it obviously in a ruder tone, but just stay out of my life right now. Don't even go near me. That was the perfect thing. I felt like cheering. That was like, woo, woo, woo. And then, the end comes and you're just like waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for, Simon to come, and he's just like, or for Blue to come, and Simon's just like, okay, he's not coming. Okay, he's not coming. Okay, he's not coming. And all of his friends are just like, but like all the classmates at the beginning are just like, woo! It's just like, woo! And then it's getting later and they're like, yeah, so Blue might not be coming. But at the last moment, I was just like, he better show up. He better show up. Last moment, he showed up. And I was just like, yes! Keenan! Yes, I love you so much! Showed up. And Blue was revealed. And I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. It was perfect. I loved the moment when he got into the car and was just like, yeah, so I'm just getting into this car. Because Simon was like, I was actually waiting for someone. Yeah, I know. And he gets into the car. It's just like, oh, okay. You're him. Okay. And then they were to the top and then they kissed like 3 times. And it was just like, oh my God, you guys, this is so amazing. I think, though, one of my favorite parts was the ending where, you have this whole montage throughout the movie, and it's all of his morning routines. He picks up his friends, they go get coffee, they go to school together. The ending, obviously, was just, he picks up his friends, they're getting coffee, and then you see a 5th coffee on top of the 4, and you're just like, oh my God, this is happening! Yes! You're like, oh my God, this is happening. My God, this is happening. And then Keenan comes out and Catherine Langford moves into the back with Abby and Nick, whom are now a couple, which is perfectly fine. Like, don't care. She doesn't seem to care. Obviously because she liked Nick, she's like, straight Nick is out of my head now. Like, after he's talking to her, straight Nick is out of my head. I'm not gonna like him anymore. I also liked how they handled the confrontation too, between that wasn't your decision to make about my love life, Simon. That was mine to make. That was Abby's, that was Nick's. It was not your decision to make at all. So they had that whole storyline going on, which ultimately ended with them in the back, all cute and lovey, and that was just wonderful, I guess. Like, I didn't really care for their storyline a lot. I didn't really think it added really anything to it. We never really saw, we knew how she felt about Nick, kind of, but like we never really saw her being like, oh my god, I love him, oh my god, like Abby was with Nick, or Abby was with Simon. We obviously did not see that. But Keenan and Nick's love story, well, the character's love story, was probably the best part of the movie. Besides the fact of Simon coming out and Simon being outed, and I just find that movie just such a good compilation of a comedy, typical teen comedy, and a book adaptation. It just fit for some reason. It just fit. Like there was no way this wasn't gonna like be something huge, which it still is. I also think it helped that the director, Greg Berlanti, who does the entire CW TV universe, you know, Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Black Lightning. He's an executive producer on Riverdale, but he didn't do Riverdale. Also, what's the fourth one? Supergirl. He is also gay, and he and Nick sat down and talked. And I think that helped a lot too. Becky Albertelli, the author of Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda, really loved it. She said this book started a conversation that I wanted it to. And I feel like this was just the perfect movie to go and cry and see. And I loved it. That is my review. Go and see it if you haven't seen it yet. It is absolutely perfect. Again, 9 out of 10. The only thing is I really hated that Katherine Langford's character had a crush on Nick. Which shouldn't dock it a whole point, but for me it does. Other than that, the changes like the omitting of the older sister, and some other things didn't really matter to me. I didn't really care about the older sister. It was just that whole B storyline in the book about Catherine's character liking Simon instead of Catherine's character liking Nick. Okay, so that is it. See you guys later.